remember your first kind of like credit that you were in or your first acting experience, and like, was it good? Was it bad? Was it something that you look back on like with memory? Like, yes, like, you know what? That's where I started. Or you kind of like bury it. I don't know how you got that. Fine, like just dislodge it somewhere, throw it out a window.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I mean, if you're talking about professional credit, that would be something that happened after drama school. But I think, one of the, just to give you some more insider knowledge, I
Yeah.
guess, like there was a film I was doing before I even went to drama school because as a proactive crazy person, I was trying to do 50 things at once.
Yeah.
I was cast as this person in this indie film, which was about like homelessness in London, and I thought that was a very, I always want to do meaningful projects, and for that it was really cool because I literally like went out into like the streets of London. I almost like tried living homelessly for like a
Oh
few
wow.
nights,
Okay.
which was like really scary and strange, and not even scary. It's more like it's a very enlightening of like the experience of people that you sort of walk by and sort of ignore sometimes, or can be snap at if they're asking for something.
Yeah.
And like a lot of research was really interesting because when you go into it, you sort of realize, man, like there's rats out there, and there's it's cold, and sometimes people just take things out on them as well, which is really horrible. But like what was interesting is also like the character I had also played piano and like sang, and was kind of like using these like public pianos. So I was actually spending a lot of time even like in those public pianos, just like enjoying the experience of playing to people. And then some guy shows up who's a homeless person, and he like sat there after me. He's like asking if he could join. I let him sit
Wow.
there, and he like starts like playing this beautiful piece that like my heart just died listening to it. And then he just walks away, and I just like I soaked every single thing that he gave. Oh, and actually no, before he walked away, he also told me his whole story, and the story also was I'm not going to share it, but it was very
Yeah.
painful. And you're like, and it was very unjust, and you're like, whoa, like when you actually like humanize and ask questions,
Yeah.
a lot of these perceptions you might have, or even like a two-dimensional idea you might have about something, can completely change. And so, I mean, that stayed with me. And I actually like based the whole character on him, and like even his walk and the way he like carried himself. And, uh, you know, I think that meant a big deal. And then when that film was screened, the other big impactful moment was that my mother, who was a painter and an artist and a big film buff, watched it, and I was terrified to death, thinking she's gonna like tell me that I'm the biggest failure of all to have abandoned med school to be an actor. And she was actually leaned in and said, this was really, really good. And she's very critical and she's very direct. So when she did that, then I think something changed where I started having faith and saying, yeah, like if she's honest and she's saying that, and also like, yeah, I just that gave me a lot of faith in the prospects of the future, and it also probably set me up to use the same spirit of inquiry when it comes to my acting. So I always try and go into very uncomfortable spaces and places and really rigorously ask the questions until I can get that sort of weird, almost spiritual experience where the actual character in the reality of the world will find you, um, in one sense or another. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. You need to brag about your mom being so proud of you. Like, geez, my mom's upstairs. Hold on. Let me just check to see if she's proud of me. Mom,
I mean,
you there? You proud of? Oh, never mind. She's not proud of me.
as I was saying that, I was like, probably every single mom is proud of their kids. So maybe it's not as impactful as I thought.
Not,
You just get an
not my
epiphany.
mother. Let me guarantee you, that's not my mother.
Oh, she's
Where
not.
she?
We should
No, hold on. Let me
bring
get her.
her,
No, no.
bring her down here. Let's have a heart to heart.